if it is revealed that he is a good character and I'm wrong, I will come to the next episode or the episode after that wearing a paper bag on my head because I was a fool.
Are you sure you want to do that? Hello, and welcome to the land of insane body parts. My name is Ebube, and you are listening to Popcorn for Dinner. Today on the podcast, we are getting steady in A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The story is in full swing. We're learning a little bit more about our main characters. And, well, let's just say there's a lot left to be seen from not just Dunk, but Egg and, I suppose, Sir Arlan. There's a lot to parse. There's a lot of load to look at. And I guess we're finally meeting the royal family. So
that man was hung. Oh my God.
Well.
Oh, yo. I was going to say more like sausage for dinner, man.
Yeah, I might as well mention now that Soonen and Afam are here. And we're a little bit confused about physics and proportions. Would you guys like to help me out here?
Listen, that's the real knight right there with his sword, man.
Oh my God, that's a little insane. Yeah, I wasn't prepared for that. I was not prepared for that because the crude humor is definitely still funny. It's interesting. And I just thought that, like, okay, adding on top of the fact that this guy basically has like a stomach upset right when Ramin Javadi's music is playing.
Yeah.
Right. And then we're starting episode 2 and we're starting with Sir Arlan waking up and, well, saying welcome and good morning to all of us.
To all of us.
That was very interesting. So I wonder how people are going to react to things like this as the show moves forward. I know the reaction to this is already insane.
Yeah.
So yeah,
yeah.
I mean,
there's definitely going to be a lot of discourse on X and on
and somehow this guy had no kids.
Listen, if you know how to use your sword, you can be precise.
I'm dead. Swordmanship is a precise endeavor.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. This is insane. We've left Westeros and gone into the land of the endless dick joke. This is exactly what they wanted. This is exactly what they wanted to provide. I know Ira Parker is laughing somewhere. Hi Ira, if you're listening to this. But yeah,
Ira.
like, how did you guys feel about this episode after the general introduction to the world that we got in episode 1? How we doing in terms of tone? Yeah, has the world expanded a little bit? What do you say?
I mean, it definitely has expanded, but what I just love is, again, it's something that I didn't notice was missing from Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, but it's just the viewpoint. The viewpoint is a viewpoint that I don't remember. We saw a little bit in Game of Thrones. In House of the Dragon, there were a few episodes, like, you know, especially the Dragon Feast in episode 2, you know, the starvation of Hugh Hammer in, I don't remember when, but like we saw viewpoints of the little folk, but so far, nothing consequential is happening. We're just seeing a random hedge knight and we're seeing random characters, and we have met some royalty now, but still it just feels engaging and I'm loving it. I love this episode.
Yeah, I would agree with Afam there. Like the viewpoint is amazing, and I think this fleshes out the world in so many ways, so many little ways. You know, relationships, even things like armor. You know, things like how people set up for the list. Like it feels so real and so grounded. Mm-hmm. You know, you can almost feel the dirt between your fingers, and you know, power to the showrunners for that. They've really made it feel very like tangible. You know.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And by the way, this episode is titled Hard Salt Beef. It is directed by Owen Harris and written by Aziza Barnes and Ira Parker. And clearly there's a vision here that's being enacted. You know, we're getting a very tactile sense of what this world is supposed to be like, what people expect, and, you know, what it feels like to kind of be on the ground in an area that's a little bit less polished. Of course, this is highly in contrast to whatever is happening in King's Landing at any point in time. So I suppose it's interesting that King's Landing comes to us. we meet the royal family, or at least the iteration of the royal family that exists at this time. What are you guys' first impressions of them?
My initial thing is that we need more incest. I think there are enough. This family tree has become a little bit too one-dimensional, because looking at the two brothers, why do they look so differently?
No, actually, you bring up a very good point, right? Because if you look at that history where things are at now, and you look at what comes later in Game of Thrones, you wonder, what could have happened to really rev up. Because we know we saw it in House of Dragon, the insistence on keeping the bloodline pure. It seems like the family has kind of strayed away from that a little bit. And reason because we see some of the royals do not have the silver hair. And not just any royals, the heir to the king. Like
and his
literally
own heir too,
the
on
king's
some level,
line.
I'm guessing.
Yeah, so
I mean, I would guess his own kids would kind of look like him.
Yes. But you still need that legitimacy, right? I wonder what happens between House of the Dragon and this show that makes that not as critical for Targaryen legitimacy, and then what happens between now and Game of Thrones that does make it again very critical to the point where they're so focused on it. So that's an interesting thing. Another thing to add, meeting the royals, and maybe this is just me, I felt like this show really captured the otherworldliness of the ones who did have the Targaryen hair. I feel like Game of Thrones towards the end, it kind of got more blonde than really that otherworldly white, the way it's described in the books.
Yeah.
Interlopers.
I mean, the Targaryens had a sense of, they had a mythos around them, right? People really expected something from them. We see that in House of the Dragon too. Like when they appear, there are people who go their whole lives without ever truly seeing one of them, So when you do see them, or you see one of their dragons in the sky, it's literally like a world-changing event.
Yeah.
Whereas now we haven't really had much of any mention of dragons, but we do see them and we see how people react to them. And, I'm kind of interested in what their dynamic is like going forward. We see them talk a little bit. We see them talk not just to other people, but to each other. So we know what their internal, dialogue and discussions is like. We know, for example, that one of them, Mykar, is looking for his sons, I guess. And the thing about Mykar, though, that I feel I have to mention, just based on knowledge of, I guess, what I'll call sacred texts, is it just me, or is he looking a little bit older than what you would have expected? Because he's supposed to be like the fourth son, right?
Yes, he definitely looks a little.
Not that it's a problem, but I guess I'm just a bit surprised, because I expected him to be a little bit like he looks almost as if he's
older brother.
Not necessarily the older brother, but maybe like there isn't that much age difference between them, or maybe that they're like fraternal twins or something like that.
That man is stressed, bro. He's
He
stressed.
does.
His kids are stressing him out.
To be fair, he's looking for two of his sons, so that would stress anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Baylor knows where all his sons are.
That's why he's the heir to the throne. So
that's why he's chilling.
Yeah.
Oh man!
But how do you guys like Baylor?
I like him.
I was going to circle back to Baylor, especially where we talk about his talk with Dunk, how that really characterizes him, But I do want us to talk about Dunk trying to make an appeal to the Tyrells, I believe, and was it the Tyrells and the Florence? If you remember that name, Alistair Florence, I believe, was the guy that kept, I think, was involved in one of the main storylines. But it's so interesting.
Stannis Baratheon's wife, Selyse, is also a Florent.
Thank you for bringing that up. So it's interesting to see, which is the context for our sausage appearance. But to see Dunk kind of try and talk about like, hey, like, Sir Arlan fought for you in this battle, in that battle, in this battle, in that battle, and just to see them say like,
Who that?
nah, we don't know that guy, you know?
Yeah.
That was
And
a
then
little wild, to be
the
honest.
king's heir literally jousts with him one time and is like, I remember you.
Yeah.
And that
That's
tells you a
character.
lot about who this guy is, right?
Mhm.
He's like, this is the one guy who nobody will be mad if he doesn't remember him, but he does. And that just tells you what leadership is. It tells you what to expect from somebody who understands what his role is and what his responsibilities are. And we're already getting a glimpse of why this guy is well suited to be the heir to the throne. Like, you can tell people like him as well, right? And I think we'll see more of that as the episodes go on. You know, he has a sense of grace and graciousness around him. And that's something that I definitely appreciate.
He's also one of the only nobles, and you could go back and check me on this, to accept Dunk as a knight meeting him. To not be like, are you a knight? Like, immediately Dunk is like, I'm a knight. He's like, sir, like, you know, to accept him just as a person, you know, and not immediately look down on him.
Yeah.
Like, that was just great characterization there.
Yeah.
A true king.
Yeah. And like, even at the fact that after accepting him, he then still corrected him on being like, you're not Sir Arlan of Pennytree's son, so you have to change your coat of arms. You know, it just shows that like, honest. I fuck with him. Let me just put it that way. I fuck with him.
He's just a cool guy.
He's a cool guy, bro. He's a cool guy.
He's just a cool, calm, collected guy. I
he's
think
literally like, follow the rules, do what you need to, and I got your back. Like, it's fine.
And I got you. Exactly. I'm
not going to be cruel needlessly, you know, like, I'm not going to put you down for no reason. I'm going to take you at face value and, you know, your value as a person, and then treat you based on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice to see, you know. And I guess, in what ways would you say Maker is in contrast to him?
Number one,
do you think we've seen enough of that yet?
He doesn't know where we see, you know, them show up. Maker doesn't know where his sons are, whereas I'd say it sounds like he's a less involved dad, you know.
Perhaps. I mean, he said he's looking for 2 of his sons. We don't know the total number of his sons yet. We do meet one of them, and
oh my God.
Well, that guy is kind of interesting. I mean, Dunk knows where he is. I'll tell you that. And you know, this idea that Dunk's meeting with Arion also tells us everything about who that guy is.
Yeah.
You know, it's very interesting to see how people behave when they have to deal with people who they believe are beneath them. We've seen what Baelor has done in such a situation. And we've seen how we've gotten a glimpse of maybe how Maekar might behave, but we do get a very clear sense of what Arion would do in this situation. And it's like, well, this is not the kind of guy you want to be king, right? So, I mean, I'm sure we'll see more of him as time goes on, but obviously his first impression of Dunk is not a very positive one, and I would say it goes backwards as well. Like, Dunk is not particularly, you know, caring for him. This idea of like, oh, you're not the stable boy, it's probably because you're not clever enough. Like, there's no need to be mean, there's no need to be rude. But I suppose it gives you an idea of this entitlement that exists from, I guess, most nobles in Westeros. So it's kind of trying to tell you, or I guess the show is trying to tell you the difference between someone like Dunk and somebody like, well, anyone that we've seen normally in Game of Thrones. Like, this is that real difference. And it's like, the show is basically teaching us narratively that the world itself is aware of that difference. So it gives us a good picture of the mountains and the hurdles that Dunk is going to have to surmount in order to get where he wants to go. And, you know, speaking of where he wants to go, is this a good idea, joining the lists? Like, can we give this guy some advice? Like, what do you guys think?
You miss all the shots you don't take.
You miss all the shots you don't take. And also, I think he is even more determined at the end, right, to join the list. Because what does a knight do?
Because he sees the gravity of what's actually at stake here.
Yes. Yeah. And he also sees that this is a chance for me to be remembered.
Yeah.
Yes.
His mentor, Sir Arlan, was not remembered for all the people he fought for, bled for, the battles he fought, but he was
The massive
remembered.
penis.
I mean, I'm sure the babes remember him, but that one that was sleeping in the room looked like she was done for. Anyway,
that is wild.
He wasn't remembered for all that, but immediately the heir of the throne immediately says, yes, I remember him for that. And I think that really sets his determination, that, hey, battle isn't how I'm going to make a name for myself. This is the path that I need to take to even get into that world, So it's definitely, I mean, we see how violent the list can be. But battle is violent as well. So it's like, if you remember, the sex workers from episode 1 said you're kind of a whore too. So it's, how are you going to abuse your body in order to get where you want to get? Are you going to focus on abusing it in battle, or are you going to focus on abusing it in the list?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very fair. How good do you think his chances are? Because I feel like when I got to the end, I saw his motivation was high, but what made me think that he might actually have a chance is the two scenes. One, kind of at the beginning of the episode when he was fighting Sir Arlan, and he was literally beating him up. Like, he was beating that man up, even though that's like a knight. And then the second scene is during the tug of war, because on his team, there was also Egg, and the Baratheon guys stopped pulling at some point, and they still won. So that was all Doug. I think he has pretty good chances. He's strong.
Yes, but you also have to consider, right? You have to ride a horse.
Yes.
You have to be armored. And actually, I wanted to talk about the armoring a little bit. So if you see the way the other knights are kitted up compared to the things that Dunk asks for, he asks for 3 parts of armor: a great helm for his head, greaves, which are for your shins, and a gorget, which is for your neck. Whereas, and I assume he's going to wear some chainmail. Whereas you see the other knights on their horses, and like they have like a breastplate, like they have, far more detailed armoring, which, another shout out to the costume designers there.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is the best armoring we've seen in any Game of Thrones show, at least I think. And yeah, so like, it's like going out into a hockey game, or an American football or Canadian football game, and you don't have all the pads. You have your helmets, maybe you have your shin guards, but you don't have like, your shoulder pads. So he's already coming from a disadvantage in terms of his protective, PPE or something, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he has to make a decision based on that, right? He has to make a hard decision. He ends up trying to sell his, not trying, he succeeds in selling his horse in order to get the money to pay for actual armor that will keep him alive. That was a good moment. I think it was very well acted. The emotion of losing the horse, because this is a guy who's concerned now about his legacy, not necessarily in the way that lords and kings are, but now he wants just the basic form of legacy. Can I be remembered? I don't have any successors right now. I don't have any heirs. So how am I going to go about this? And his own mentor, whom he remembers, bequeathed to him a couple of weapons and these 3 horses. So these 3 horses are everything to him. So having to let go of one in order to have a chance at building a bigger legacy is one of those things where it's like you have to make a hard decision in order to potentially gain. And you can see the pain in his face when he does that, right? But let's hope it's worth it, because he does say that once he has enough money after he wins, he's going to come back and buy the horse. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see, right?
One thing we also have to keep in mind is that according to the rules of this, if you lose to someone, you have to give them your horse and your armor.
Exactly. So there's a chance you can lose 2 horses here.
At this point, it's all or nothing.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I will say though, the first episode, is titled The Hedge Knight, fittingly. And I believe it is interesting for us to hear Egg's take on everything. Because, I mean, after, Dunk meets the Targaryens and they remember him and he finally starts to believe he has hope again. Obviously, he has a moment where he doesn't know where he's going, which is great for the humor of the show.
That's the second time he's doing that by this.
Yeah, it's wild.
I love that gag.
It's actually interesting. This idea that he finds comfort in the little things. When he leaves there, he ends up going to watch a show. He watches the puppet show, and those puppet show people they're really good at what they do. I was looking at some of their props and their effects, and I'm just like, yo, this is actually very impressive. Like, did they come up with this? Is really cool how they do that because they're obviously creating a show that's immersing people.
Did you notice the joy on his face during that scene? That was
the
so
joy
amazing.
in the little things as he's like eating his little snack, and obviously he's taken with a certain tall lady. So I mean that could be something interesting going forward. What do you guys think?
Absolutely.
It's on the shot you don't take. And
Guys,
even though this man
is he going to take that shot though?
Man, he's no Steph Curry, and I don't even think he would have made it in college basketball because he needs a fucking 7-year-old to help him. But however old Egg is, I really don't know. But yeah, he's missing those shots. And do you think she thinks it's cute or?
I think
cannot
she
tell.
likes him. I think she's taken with him.
I think she's not even used to people actually trying to make a move because most guys would think that she's too tall. They may not even approach her like that. So I think on some level she likes it. I mean, she doesn't seem that tall, maybe to us. But
big boys.
relax. But to Dunk, right? Like, first of all, Dunk is obviously like a really tall person. The average person in Westeros is not that tall.
Yeah.
So I feel like she is a little bit of something different visually to most people, and personality wise, clearly she's like she has a good head on her shoulders. She knows what she wants and she's confident. And I guess those are things that maybe wouldn't necessarily intimidate Dunk, but he's not somebody who's used to talking to women at all, unless he's trying to buy something or whatever. He's trying to maybe look for directions, as we see with the two women earlier. So, he's trying to figure out who he is, or at the very least what he can be. And I think it's nice that, in the middle of all that, he's seeing this person and he's wondering what can come of that, So I guess my only question to him is, do you have time for this? Is there time to be pursuing a relationship? Bro, you need to
lock in. You need to lock in.
This is you actually need to lock in because everything is at stake right now.
Yeah, no horse, no armor. If you lose this, you need to lock in.
Like no horse, no armor, but he still gets the bitch. Let's go.
She ain't going nowhere with no horse and armor, man.
Literally, it's at what cost? Let's be real.
You're going nowhere. Another something that also stuck out to me was his interaction with Sir Roland Craycall and Sir Donald of Duskendale. I'm finding out Sir Donald is actually
that killed me,
born.
Because I knew, but I just kept quiet because it's like this guy told you my father was a crabber. And then Egg tells him, yo, that guy is not a crabber. He is the crabber. All the crabbers in this continent work for him, or work for someone who works for him, or work for someone who works for somebody who needs his favor. But there are levels.
I think Dunk got what he needed out of that interaction, which is,
of course,
he asks, how did you go from being a crabber's son to being in a Kingsguard? And he says, the same way we became crabbers, which to me sounded like seizing opportunity. And right in that moment is where Dunk looks over and sees the door open. Literally, it's almost like, a physical manifestation
Carpe diem.
Yeah, of what he just got from Sir Donald. So I think that's a very, very important very important interaction that has set the stage for so much more.
Yeah. I found it funny as fuck. That dude's a liar. He's such a liar.
He technically didn't lie. His dad is a crabber.
It's actually so classy though, because he's like
where do you
he's
work?
like, I'm
Oh,
not
I
trying to
work.
brag. He's not trying to reveal too much about his family's wealth. It's literally like the typical rich person to do. It's like, oh, we're well off. We're okay.
Yeah, we're comfortable. Oh yeah,
We're comfortable. That's the one.
This man
That's
said
the
he's
one.
comfortable.
It reminds me
Oh
of
my
Crazy Rich
God.
Asians. Can you believe that's what that guy said? Like Henry Golden's character. He's like, oh,
Yeah,
we're comfortable.
Meanwhile,
How dare
you
you?
could buy anything.
By
I want to be
the
comfortable
whole
like
world,
that.
yeah.
That's so wild. And actually, what do you guys think of Egg's take on this? Like, obviously, it's through Egg that we find out just what level of crabber this man's father is. So,
Yeah,
I mean, didn't you find yourself asking, like, how does Egg know this?
I think
Like,
he's
I know
a liar,
Egg is
bro.
Egg is obviously somebody who's very knowledgeable. He's let's be fair, he's smarter than Dunk. He's just doesn't have as much experience, but he's clearly resourceful. He's clearly observant, and he's clearly learned a lot in his short time on this earth. So it's like, yo, this is one wise kid. Like, this is somebody who is going to be reliable. What he doesn't have in physical strength, he clearly has in terms of his wits.
Definitely.
Or he's a liar and a manipulator who is trying to put Dunk in trouble. Stay woke. Egg is the Antichrist. Stay away from that man, okay? He's up to something. I can tell, bro. He's gonna do some sketchy stuff. Okay, first of all, he gives all these facts and information, but how do we know it's the truth? How do we know that he didn't say that crabber
This is a
thing
fair
just
point.
to fuck with Dunk? You know, he could be an unreliable narrator, and we don't know.
I don't
fair.
think he strikes me as that. He seems like a good kid to me.
So his tricks are working on you. Don't worry, Rhaenyra's trick worked on me, and now I'm Team Green. I've seen the light.
Wait,
right?
what? Okay, we'll have to circle back
Alicent
to
was
that.
right, okay?
Wow,
Alicent was
you
right.
Wait.
You just side with the usurper? Oh my God. Okay.
You mean that's what we're 100 years too far forward to discuss.
Different show, boys.
Yeah, so let's
we'll
leave that
circle back.
there.
We'll circle back.
We'll circle back in 2026.
But here's the thing, though. Egg does talk about the Targaryens. I mean, he says, do you think the Dragon House hires hedge knights?
True.
Because Dunk is like, yo, maybe I could be a knight serving House Targaryen one day. And Egg is like, have you done your math? Like, how do you think that's gonna happen?
I think Egg keeps Dunk
in check,
grounded and knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Because Dunk had no idea even the rules of this thing, right? And if it wasn't for Egg, he wouldn't even know what was going on.
But that's interesting to me, though, because after going to so many of these things with Sir Arlan, like, you would think he would have picked up some level of
but we don't
know-how.
know that he went to these things with Sir Arlan. We know he was with Sir Arlan for a while. We know Sir Arlan was really good at the list when he was younger, which was when he tangled with Baylor. But we don't know that that's something he kept doing.
Yeah.
I don't think he was a turning knight, towards the rest of his life. I think he was just a hedge knight, almost a sellsword that would go to different lords who needed, men for some type of campaign or the other. Yeah. And, basically swear to them for whatever period, do his service and move on to the next place. So I think he was looking forward to Ashford to be in that environment again until he got the cuts to his hand, which ostensibly led to his death, which is a departure from the books, actually, because in the books, it says that he caught a chill, caught a fever, and he was dead. Whereas now we see a little more context that it might have been some type of infection of that wound.
It was Egg that did it. Stay woke.
Oh my God. This man does not trust Egg at all.
I don't trust that man, bro. I don't trust him.
That's a boy. That's a boy. That's a child.
In Westerosi terms, he's a grown-ass man.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Actually, probably, man. I'm sure they were probably sending boys like that off to war on the steady P, man.
To fight with sticks. Please.
Yeah. Literally, remember Septim Meribal's speech, man? Like, that was literally what happened. Okay,
so what do we think we can look forward to for the rest of the season. I think now with 2 episodes, we've done a little bit of, you know, establishing what things are going to be like. I think the story, as we've said, is now in full swing. So what do you think happens next? Are we just going to go straight into the lists? Are we going to learn a little bit more about, you know, the rules? Are we going to learn maybe more about Egg? Like, I think it could go in any direction, but based on the runtime that they've set, like, we don't have too much time in the show. Like, it's just going to be 6 episodes, right? So I'm wondering what the pacing is going to be like. So basically what they're going to reveal and when.
Well, don't forget that we do see a little bit of the list, you know, with some of the guys in that first part, and that crazy Tully guy who eats a raw fish for some reason.
Why? Like, bro, why? Why?
The Tullys have always been a little, you know, hot-headed. Let me put it that way. But yeah, so we do see a lot of that. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing, you know, more of the combats and the strategies that Dunk will have to employ for success in the list. I am looking forward to more of Prince Baylor. He's just such an interesting
stand-up guy.
Yeah, just such a stand-up guy, such a lad, you know. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing more of Dunk's little romance. You know, call me a softie, but you know, I'm rooting for both of them.
Okay.
Tall love. Tall
love, indeed.
How about you, Afam?
Well, I am looking forward to seeing more incestuous Targaryens. I like the air, but I need my Targaryens to be bleach blonde. Okay, married to 12-year-old girls. Okay.
Oh, because that's
you need what is that your preference?
That's the Targaryen way. That's what they've been doing. That's what they've been doing. No, please, not that.
You sound like Cersei.
I need more incestuous Targaryens. I need to see the downfall of Egg, because he's not what, quote me here, he's doing something wrong behind, I don't know what, but he's lying. And I don't trust his truth. Why does he know Donald died or Donald whatever? I don't know. There's something there. I'm looking forward to more of the humor and the pacing. I just feel like it's not taking itself so seriously, but taking itself so seriously. And I don't understand what they're doing to just toe that line so perfectly, but I hope they keep doing that. And I think that in typical Game of Thrones fashion, by episode 5 is usually the climax, and episode 6 will be the fallout. And I feel like we've like kind of gotten into it since the tournament has started. So I just feel like things are just going to be happening a bit rapid fire from here on out. And I'm excited. I'm sure we'll still meet a few more characters, but I feel like the chess pieces are out. So now it's just going to, like, shit is going to start happening. So I'm like, let's see it.
I dare say I'm looking forward to all of it. I really want to know more about Egg, to be fair. I don't believe he's nefarious. At least I don't think I have any reason to believe he's nefarious, but I suppose we'll find out. In any case, that seems like a good place to call it. Thanks a lot, guys, for your insights. And thank you all so much for listening up until this point. I really do like the show so far. I think we've learned a lot of interesting stuff. I think that we've found ourselves in a really grounded world. The runtime of this show so far is less than, you know, a good chunk of what we'd expect in any of the bigger shows like Game of Thrones and House of Dragon. I think they've already done a good job of actually helping us feel like we know where things might go. So yeah, I definitely want to see more. Definitely ask us questions and check out everything else that we're covering. We are doing Industry right now, which is an amazing series. Michael and Ayo are covering it on the weekends right after the episodes air, and I am on talking about Industry as well with an interesting group of people that will be cycling through every week. So definitely stay tuned, keep it locked to the feed, and till next time, please avoid the jousts.
Wait, before we go, one more thing. I am so sure that Egg's nefarious, that if it is revealed that he is a good character and I'm wrong, I will come to the next episode or the episode after that wearing a paper bag on my head because I was a fool. Have a good night, people.
Are you sure you want to do that?
I said what I said. Okay. # the Greens were right all along.